Hello and welcome to video number 4. This is me learning how to use the Digitone 2 and passing on to you all my tips and tricks as I discover them. Let's say you've got some patterns up and running. Look here, I've got 5 in this project and you want to run them sequentially, and there are 3 ways of doing this. First of all, you can simply call them up on the fly. So this is pattern 1 in bank C, and if I press play, you can see it's a 4-bar pattern, and if I want pattern 2 to come in next, I simply hold pattern once, press pattern 2, and at the end of this it will shift to pattern 2. Like that, and then we can go to 3, pattern 3. Pattern 5. They're all 1-bar patterns. So that's one very easy way of doing it. Next up we have a thing called pattern chain. Now this is set up very simply. You press the pattern button, you hold function and yes, and it says chain is empty. We're in bank C, as you can see there, and if I press trig button 1, that's gone in. If I press trig button 2, that's gone in. 3, 5, 4, and let's have 1 again. And it's as simple as that. All I've got to do now is confirm. Watch the display as I press the yes key. Playing chain, press play. Keep your eye on the top left hand corner and you'll see the patterns change. 2 now. 3, 5, it's jumped to 5, that's what I wanted. Back to pattern 4. And then back to pattern 1, and the whole thing starts to loop again. So that's pattern chain. Now if I press play again, it would play that chain again, and you can change the chain on the fly. So if I press play and pattern, function and yes, chain is empty, so I'm going to put in pattern 3 and pattern 2. And I'll say yes. Now 3, let's jump to 3 now. It'll play this once and it'll jump back to pattern 2. And it'll just loop from 3 to 2, backwards and forwards. So it should be 3 again. So, very simple, very effective. That's the second method of playing patterns sequentially. Let's look at number 3, the most involved, which is called song mode. So I'm going to press the song key, select song, 1, song mode is on. I'm going to hold function and song, the song is empty. Now I hold function and the down arrow. By default, the pattern that it puts into the song at the top there is in bank A, pattern 1. I don't want that, but let's put that in just as a starting point. Now you can see that it's going to loop just once. It's got a length of 128, so that's 8 bars, and the metronome setting is 81, and there's nothing muted in the actual pattern itself. So let's just change that. Let's just go up, arrow. Now you've got that white block there. Now if I rotate the A encoder, I can change that. Let's call this intro. Yes. Now let's come over to the next column, which is pattern. I don't want A01, I want C01. So I'm going to hold the function button down to jump banks. So bank B, bank C, let go, and that's the right pattern. It doesn't give me the pattern name though. It could though. If I come back to this and change that back to pattern name, you'll see that it's actually Daddy Long Les. Okay, but we'll call that intro, I think, because it's easier to follow. Intro, yes. Let's have it loop twice. Okay, so any of these work, see, on that. Yeah, literally any of these encoders work on that. Okay, so we'll use encoder A, have it loop twice. Now it's at a length of 64, we'll leave it at that for the moment, and we'll leave the tempo setting at 120, and we won't mute anything in that particular pattern. If I were to press play now, it would simply play that pattern over and over and over because the end point is a loop. So if I set that to stop, again, any of these encoders work. It's set at stop, so it will simply loop round twice and stop. Okay, pretty straightforward. Let's press function and down arrow. Now it's input that pattern again on the second row, but I don't want that. I want to come up to that and change that to CO2, and I'll label this just out of interest. I'll call it verse. It isn't a verse, but that'll do fine. I'll turn the loop down to just 1, and I'll come up to this one, make that 1. In this pattern, I'm going to come over to the far right column. I'm going to press yes. Now I can turn off any of the tracks in this pattern. So let's turn off the snare drum. When it gets to this point and plays this pattern 2 in bank C, you won't hear the snare drum play. Let's see what we've got now. So just once through pattern 1. Now pattern 2. Notice the snare's gone, and it will stop at the end of this. Pretty good, isn't it? Let's hold function and down. In this third row, let's have pattern 3. Let's come over to this and label it something else. Bridge, how about bridge? That'll do fine. Yes. No looping. Let's turn the length down to something strange like, I don't know, 59. How about that? And we'll change the tempo. We'll bring it right the way down. And then in the far right hand column, we'll say yes. And we will mute the hi-hats, I think that is. Yes. And we'll stop at the end of that. Let's see what that does. Slowed right down. Right, and it ended in a weird place because I set the length to 59. Let's come back to that and change that back to 64. If you want to delete a row, you hold function and up arrow. Now that's gone. So function and down, and we'll put in another pattern. Let's put in pattern 5. Let's jump to pattern 5, and we'll keep the tempo the same, and in this one we will mute the kick drum. Press that, trig 1 there. Notice these are all in this rather nice purple colour. So yes, so when we get to the third row, we'll be playing pattern 5 and there'll be no kick drum, and it will stop. I also wanted to change that label of that. So let's change the label, yes. Bridge is fine, that'll do fine. No snare. No kick drum. Now at the top it says that the song is untitled. So to name the song we press the cogwheel, the project, save project, we come down to song, yes, rename, yes, and you can either do it like this with the usual alphanumeric thing, or you can press the cogwheel and give it a random name. Ultrasonic Jaw, there we are, like that, press yes. Now we see that our song is called Ultrasonic Jaw, and obviously you can go on and on and on, adding more and more rows. I'm not sure if there's a limit, probably isn't. It's only a small amount of data involved, so you can probably have a very, very long song, and this is obviously the most comprehensive way of playing your patterns sequentially in any order you like. So with each row you can change the label, you can change the pattern, how long it loops, how long it lasts for, what the tempo is, and whether there's anything muted in that actual row. In this row here there's nothing muted, so you obviously need to know what sounds you've got on which tracks, and obviously I know that I've got the snare on track 2, so I press that. Now track 2, the snare won't play on this particular row, so it's gone. If you come out of the song mode, you'll see at the top of the display that it's playing song 1, and you'll see the data as it moves across. It says row 1 playing, row 2, no snare in either of those, row 3, the bridge, pattern 5 is there. It's looping, so it's going to start again. Actually, let's just go into that again, and we'll change the tempo of this row here. Let's see what happens in the display when it gets to this row. See what happens to the tempo. Right, so here we go. The idea of the progress of the pattern. See the tempo's dropped to 110. It'll come up again at the end of this. That's great, isn't it? So just a quick video there to show you 3 ways of playing your patterns sequentially. Hope you enjoyed that. If you got some benefit from that, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. Maybe give me a small donation here on YouTube or on my website, which is www.daddylonglegs.com. Thank you very much for watching, and you'll see me in my next video.